She's the friend who'll show up with coffee or wine when you need it most. But probably wine. Good vibes are on the way. Welcome to Erin O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency.
Welcome back to Erin O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency. It is so great to have you here. I truly appreciate you spending some of your time with me. It means the world. So for the last week or so, I've been thinking about how much I love the month of May. I always have. And I heard a meteorologist the other day say that this is the time of year where we gain daylight. That in and of itself, I mean, how can you not smile when you think of that? Especially when we flip back to what it was like in the winter, just dark all the time. I am actually at the point where I feel like it may be safe to take my ice/snow scraper out of my car and not automatically bring on a blizzard. It's just that time of year. But I also realize like everything is truly how you look at it. Because May, the flowers are in bloom. However, if you have horrible allergies, you can't be outside for more than 35 seconds before you've got to take some sort of medicine to even enjoy it. And people say all the time that life is how you look at it. It's not what happens to you, it is how you react to it. And I do believe that. And then I really started pulling apart my own life. And here's what I got from the month of May. Never really thought about how I've had some bad stuff happen in this month. I got engaged May 15th. That's not the bad part. I feel like I should say that. But 2 weeks after, I broke my back. I broke 5 bones in my back 2 weeks after I got engaged. And just a little story about this and how it happened. I was going to the local church to volunteer to be a Eucharistic minister. No good deed goes unpunished. And it was pouring down rain and the door was locked. I went to another door, still locked. I go down these stairs and I slipped from the puddle that had pooled at the top of it and fell down like 5, I think they were marble stairs. I mean, think about how brutal that is on your back. There's no give to marble or whatever it was. Granite. I don't know what it was. All I know is it broke me. And so I am in the fetal position on the ground in the pouring rain. My then fiance was parking the car, so he didn't know that this had happened. And some random stranger, God bless you wherever you are today, sir, jumps out of his car and says, at first I thought you were just a homeless person, but then it looked like you were really in pain. So what happened? And I told him I fell, and here I am standing up trying to walk it off. Like, whatever it is, it's fine. But when I fell, no word of a lie, the first thing I did was look at my left hand and make sure I didn't break my engagement ring. Is the diamond still there? Seriously, before I wiggled my toes. Now, that's a little ridiculous, but due to the fact that I had never been engaged before and I was so excited and loved that ring. Yeah, of course, now that I think back on it, my fiance was super smart in how much he already knew me when he had the ring made, because he's like, I knew not to get a prong for you. I had the diamond set in the band, and he's right, because I would have had that thing knocked off within a week. Definitely 2 after what happened here. So anyway, I go to the hospital. They tell me I've fractured my back. I fractured 5 bones in total, and I was millimeters, if not like a millimeter away from never walking again. So yeah, it wasn't good to break my bones in my back, and it was horribly painful. Side note, you don't realize how much your back is involved in everyday life until something's wrong with it. So it healed, and I did walk again. And so I don't even think about that, really. It's not something that makes me think, oh, that was awful, because good things came of it. I found out very quickly that saying yes to this gentleman was a very good idea when he asked me to marry him, because I immediately got to see what kind of a caretaker he would be if that was ever needed in the future. I wasn't trying to test that. But I mean, when you have somebody that is literally helping you get out of bed to walk you to the bathroom just so you can pee because you can't do anything on your own, and he's making me food and bringing everything to me. And I mean, I was very lucky to have found this gentleman who, by the way, 15 years ago was when I got engaged. 15 years ago on the 15th, and we've been married for just over 14. So all good things with that. Then in a different year, 2018, on May 17th, I found a lump, which ended up being cancer, and not just breast cancer that I was not expecting in any way, shape, or form, but it was already stage 2. And I had just had a clear 3D mammogram not even 6 months before. So, yes, not a good thing to find out you have cancer. That also happened in the month of May. But everything is perspective, because had I not found it, my oncologist said I would not be here right now, because it was the fastest growing, fastest spreading kind. So there's nothing to think of badly when I think of that happening, because it literally saved my life. And here's how it happened, because it's kind of funny. If you don't know me, this is like such an Erin story. So I'm at my closet looking at the tops I had to wear, because the next day it was going to be sunny. And I thought, oh, I'll wear a tank top. And so I see one, and I'm talking to myself in said closet. And I go, oh, that would look so much cuter if these were just a little bigger. And when I said these, I hit my right breast. I hit the tumor. Literally poked the tumor when I was talking to myself, because I was never somebody that checked ever. And the first thing I did was go to the left side to see if there was something that matched it, and there wasn't. And so, I immediately ran downstairs and said to my husband, hey, you pay more attention to these than I do. Does this feel normal? And he said, no, that actually feels like a knot. And this is good advice too, or information if you ever are in this situation, God forbid. He said it feels like a knot, like if you're getting a massage and you can tell the masseuse hit something back there. It's that kind of a knot, which I thought was a great explanation. So again, everything is a yin with a yang. I try to take whatever the bad is. I'm always trying to look for the good, because sometimes it's about impossible to find. But if you can hold on to some positivity, I promise you it will make a difference. But everything is perspective. Now, since I mentioned my engagement, I have to tell you the story of it, because honestly, it's a classic as well. So I had moved in with my then boyfriend that day. And now, if you've moved, especially pretty much by yourself, you understand how exhausting it is. So the last thing I felt like doing on this day was go to dinner. I did not care if I even ate. But he had made reservations at a gorgeous restaurant down the street from where we lived in Newport, Rhode Island. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to just have to suck it up and put a dress on and go to this thing, especially since the man already had his suit on within like 2 hours before we were leaving. And I'm thinking to myself, 2 hours? What are you doing? But he's military, and I know you people are chronically on time to the point that you're way too early for everything. But I digress. So I throw a dress on. I don't have my nails done, nothing. I'm just going to go eat, come back, fine, maybe go to bed. So we get to the restaurant, and we have this gorgeous table. We can see the ocean right in front of us. It's absolutely stunning. And the way that they sat us, we were sitting next to each other on this beautiful couch, kind of. And so in the middle of dinner, we're talking, and he starts saying just the nicest, kindest things, and how blessed he feels to have found me. And it was beautiful. I'm like, babe, I'm so glad I moved in. We're going to really have the best times together. And I love you, and so grateful I found you. Well, he keeps going about us and how happy he is. And then he pulls out a box, and it's a long box. It's not, because as a female, we think of the box that may come someday with an engagement ring. It's a small box. This was not. And my first thought was, oh my gosh, he got me a key made, because I still didn't have a key to the apartment I just moved into. So of course I'm thinking it's a key. Why wouldn't it be a key? I still don't have a way to get in. So he opens it, and there's an engagement ring in it. And it takes a second for my brain to process, because I'm thinking, where's the key? And then he says, will you marry me? And my mouth is dropped on the floor. And suddenly, something hit my brain, and I'm still so glad it did. And I go, wait a minute. If you are serious, I want a knee. I've been thinking about this since I was a little girl. It's not going to be like, pass the salt, let's get hitched. How about like, some sincerity here? I want the knee. And he snaps the box shut and he goes, seriously? And I go, yes, come on. And now I don't realize, because all I'm zoning in on is him, that the entire restaurant is watching us. Everybody. And I'm just thinking, oh, well, I guess this is going to happen some other time because he snapped the box shut. He gets up, walks to the other side of the table, gets on one knee, and asked me to marry him. And I was like, yes, of course. And I was so excited. And everybody started clapping. People sent us over champagne. The restaurant sent us a dessert. It was lovely and so beautiful. But again, I had no idea anybody was watching. So I'm glad, and maybe he is too, since he didn't know people were watching either, that he continued on with the proposal instead of being like, forget it. Because I think it would have made for an awkward dinner. But that is the story of the engagement, which is completely classic us. But ladies, if you do want that knee, don't be afraid to ask for it. You deserve to get it the way you want it. So again, everything in life is about perspective. That's really what I wanted to talk about today, because I truly feel like that's true. And these two ladies that I am about to introduce you to, what started off as a family and friends gathering, just a party, has now turned into the 16th year of raising money for kiddos who really need a break from whatever they are dealing with in life, be it a critical illness, a terminal illness. Wait till you hear what this group of friends has managed to pull off year after year. They inspire me.
It's time for the Shine and Bright Spotlight on Erin O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency.
So I am here with Cindy and Trudy, and you created the Oser Roth Friends Fest. I absolutely love how this came about and what you do. Can you explain it to anybody that's never heard of it before?
Well, this is our 16th year, and we raise money all year long, and all that money goes back to these angels they have a lot of health issues, could be cancer, so they get their wishes. They get up to $15,000 on their wishes. We have raised over $900,000 already. I know, crazy. And I looked it up, 70 kids.
Wow.
Kids that we have given all these wishes. They get 3 to 4 wishes. And it's a big party down at Puker Farms in Aurora. Trudy, if you want to add what we do there that weekend.
Well, just getting back to how it actually started as a big party for friends and turned into a fundraiser based on a church member that needed help.
Yeah, I read that you all used to get together at somebody's place, but then it just got so huge that you had to take it elsewhere. Is that how it got to the Puker Farm?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Is that where Blake comes in? Was he part of your church?
Blake had leukemia.
Right.
He was 4 years old, and that's when we decided. Someone came into Dan's office and threw down a $100 bill and said, you know what, turn your party into something, help a kid. And I knew Blake from church, and we raised $5,000 that year in 2 months, Trudy?
Yeah.
It was pretty quick.
Wow.
And like that quick, and we presented him a check. We didn't do wishes back then. We just presented the family a check. But after that is when we changed and did the wishes for each angel.
It's so incredible how one child could change everything. I mean, really make it into, instead of just a friends and family party, which, side note, love that. But then you made it into something so big that you've helped over 70, did you say, kids?
Got 70 kids.
Get their wishes come true. Now, what kind of things are they looking for? Because I had read that it was things that can help them in their daily lives. Like, can you give an example of what they're getting?
They could get a deck on their back, wheelchair swing, a bicycle, adapted bicycle, hot tubs, writing tablets. Last year was the coolest one. We got wanted a baby cow.
Did you ask the parents first?
Yes, we did. And she is showing that cow. Helicopter rides, a lot of vacations.
Hmm.
These families never have a chance to go on vacations. So we provide them a gift certificate, 5,000, 8,000 for the whole family to go on a trip with these kids.
Which is such a huge deal because you're dealing many times with not just critically ill children, but also terminally ill. And that
Yes.
must be
Yes.
so heartbreaking. But also the fact that you're able to give those kiddos and their families just a memory that they will have forever is just priceless.
It is.
It is.
Go ahead, Trudy. It's hard to say.
Uh-huh. It is very, very hard to say. Lots of wishes, lots of tears, lots of friends, lots of work, all well worth it.
I love what you do. And you also help kiddos with severe developmental disabilities, which I'm so thankful that you do that for as well, because we have a special needs kiddo who actually almost died at birth. And so we are so blessed to have him every single day. I thank God for him. He teaches me something different. Every time he wakes up, he is smiling like he teaches me how to live, I swear. And there are so many special kiddos like that. And I love that you are helping these families that can't afford a bike. You said an adaptive bike. So what most people would never know, because how would you unless you were looking into this yourself? A developmental adaptive bike is usually around $3,000.
At least, yes.
Right.
Yep.
That's like the bottom end of it. So if you want your kiddo to be outside where the other neighborhood kids are playing in the summer and riding their bikes, this is the kind of money that you need to have
Right.
to be able to have that kid participate, which is just so important for everybody's mindset and especially that kids. And I just think it's fantastic that you are giving a totally different avenue for people, families to reach out to get help with that, because that's usually something that no insurance company will help you with.
I was just going to say, insurance doesn't cover a lot of that.
Right.
No.
Right. So, what was the catalyst that made you say, after you helped Blake and you saw the family and the reaction, who was it? What was it that made you say, you know what, we should make this more inclusive? We bring a lot of other kids and families and things. Like, how did that part of it come about?
I think it was pretty much all of us.
Yeah.
I just said, okay, can't do it just once.
And do you do other events? I know that this one major, the Friends Fest, is just this huge festival on a farm. Do you do other things during the year to help fundraise?
Oh yeah. For it, we do small things like in January, February, and March. That is fun. Get people out in the winter, like simple things like euchre tournaments, Family Feud, trivia. We do a golf outing every year
For the fireworks.
for the fireworks, and then another dear friend decided to start a bike ride, so that happens. Both the golf outing and the bike ride happen in June prior to the fest to raise more money.
And is it true that for the festival, every and any dollar donated to this organization never goes to the overhead of it? It's just always for the angels?
That is absolutely true.
Absolutely, all goes to the angels.
What we do is we do a sign up genius for food. People donate their time, and the two families and friends, we put money in for the operation of it. But everything raised up to it and the event goes to the angels.
That is huge. You must have so many people in the community reaching out and helping and making baskets for a raffle and that kind of thing. Has it been difficult to get people to sponsor and to help out to make sure that you have the funds?
No, not at all. We've been
No.
so lucky.
Our core group is very giving and very connected, I guess you could say. So it just kind of branches out from there.
We keep growing. People come to us and ask, what can we do? What can we do to help? So it's constantly. So it's a good thing.
I love that. What I'm going to ask each of you this because I think it's just really a special question for this kind of an organization. So, Trudy, what is your favorite memory so far of a kiddo that had a wish come true?
I guess the one that comes to mind the most is we had a wheelchair bound child, and his wish was to go on a helicopter ride. That's how the helicopter ride started. We got to actually witness this one, and that's probably why it's so memorable. So he was on stage, and a friend of my husband's is a helicopter pilot, and he got a buddy to come take care of this wish. And they flew the helicopter in, landed it on the dam, and we wheeled him over, and they picked him up and put him and his mother in the helicopter.
Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. Oh, that is beautiful. What about you, Cindy?
Well, she took mine, but that was, we all had tears. One thing I really enjoy about the event is when all the past angels come back and they come up and speak. But my favorite wish probably had to be the darn cow. We kept that really a secret. And when they brought that cow down and walked that cow down, that girl and everybody just went crazy. And the tears that just fly. And we tried to make the wishes for all the angels special. We do other things too, like if we know their hobbies, we'll get them a bunch of Legos. So it's just, Trudy and I are up there presenting, and just to see these kids so happy, smiling. That's all we care about, is that they're happy.
That's the best reward. It's got to be just to see the look on their faces. And do they know ahead of time, like, what's happening? Because I read that a lot of the wishes, if not all of them, happen at the Friends Fest. Is that right?
Yes.
So it's a surprise?
Yes.
Oh. Your pictures on your website are absolutely beautiful. The video, it just gives you you feel like you're getting a hug when you watch it, which that's pretty special to be able to get that on video and in pictures, to feel that kind of warmth through it. You can just tell that there are so many people that are excited to be there and that are honored to be witnessing the angels get their wishes.
Oh, yeah.
The festival is always the last Saturday in July. Is that right?
Correct.
July 26th.
And how does this work? Can people show up, and then do you sell tickets at the door or, at the gate, since it's a farm? How does it work?
Show up, and they don't have to buy a thing. They don't have to donate. We have shirts, we have split the pot, wheelbarrow chair, baskets. They can just come and enjoy. We have food all day, bands, free food, free drinks, bands all day. So they can just come and enjoy. They don't have to drop a dime, but they will.
Yeah. They absolutely will.
Yeah.
So how many people do you expect this year? Does it become bigger every single year?
Last year you couldn't walk. 5,000 people probably, at least.
Wow.
At least. People come and go because it's open all day and all night. And there's we had 40, 50 campers last year. So I'm thinking the same or more. Every year it keeps growing.
And people can come with their campers and stay there for the weekend?
Yes.
That's so cool. And what is the name of the town in Indiana?
Aurora.
I thought that's what it was, but I didn't want to mess it up. Is it close to the Cincinnati airport? Is that the closest one?
Yes.
I just love that you guys are making the world a better place. And I can't thank you enough for it, because seriously, you might think it's just like, oh, it's not, we work on it, but it's just, our own little thing. It is exactly what the world needs more of.
Yeah. Thank you.
Agreed.
You are right.
How can people participate if they want to make donations or find out more information? What is the website?
OsterRockFest.com.
They are so amazing, right? I mean, honestly, they are inspiring me not to just get on a plane and go there and check the whole thing out for myself at the end of July, but also to chat with some of my friends and maybe start something similar, because wow, what an amazing legacy this group of friends and family are leaving, to be able to make such a difference in so many people's lives. And it all began with just a party, which a lot of great ideas start at parties. We should have more of them. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. It is forever appreciated. Another episode of Erin O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency will be here on Wednesday. Enjoy your week. Thank you so much.